I think the number one thing to say is your noise. Thanks for the prime. Number one thing to say is LS has a lot of strong opinions about the game, and he brings a lot of innovation to the game, which I respect. But he never really like put it into practice because he couldn't. And now he's dropped his streaming, his co-streaming, his sponsors and stuff like this, I'd imagine, with T1, to now coach a team. So massive props to him for doing that. I'm excited to see how he does. I really am. I really am excited to see how he does. I wish him all the best. I hope he does. I hope he does well. I hope he succeeds. There will of course be memes. I can see it already on the top comment. If any Cloud9 game includes a Renekton game, it's going to be straight to the match thread. Yeah. Also, I'm interested to see how his innovation affects meta shifts. You know, when other teams are playing things like Renekton a lot and diving top and stuff like this, how does he approach it? That'll be interesting.
I've been co-streaming now for the past 2.5 years. I've been live viewing or actually just co-streaming regions. Along came the offer from Cloud9, and I thought if there was ever going to possibly be a chance to return to pro play in some facet coaching, this probably would have just been it, provided that a lot of the stars would end up aligning. And I thought watching Worlds this past year that LCK and LPL teams actually regressed in terms of gameplay, and I thought that it actually looked possible for Western teams to legitimately take games off or even actually upset or beat them.
I will say if LS is the one to take down LCK and LPL, dude, I'm gonna join the church.
Outright. And I never ever...
That's nothing against him, but if he is the one to finally do it and win Worlds for the West, dude, sign me up. I'll be the fucking bishop, yeah?
Felt that before in previous years.
Or no, I'll probably be the pleb. I'll be the pleb, probably. If he needs a cathedral in his church, hit me up.
No better landing.
If he wins Worlds, I'll join, yeah. I'll convert.
What that taught me was that LS was actually a really good judge of the type of coaching staff that we thought was...
Wait, if LS is in the church, is Jack the Pope?
Valuable, and very because of that,
how does it work?
It gave me a good feeling that if LS ever was to come and join us, he'd be a really good fit for Cloud9.
Wait, it's Pope Jack. We've got Church 9. We've got all the worshippers, but we've also got Jack, who is the Pope. Pope Jack, Prage.
What I can say is that even while all of these decisions were going on, I had agreed to help Cloud9 regardless of if I would end up joining or not. I thought that the players that have been picked up, Summit, Berserker, are
Summit
two of the best players that could have been picked up.
I don't know anything about Berserker.
I think that no one really knows a lot about Berserker, and I've commented on Summit elsewhere on Twitter. He's a player that I've thought very highly of for the last couple of years. Other stuff that's obviously going on with Academy is I've been very outspoken about the need to scrim against an Academy team and the need to have internal scrims and internal practice. So the Academy team is being stacked with also really high-level players, and then even other coaches and other staff members that are being brought in are also Challenger Korean-level players that are also going to participate in both LCS.
Wait, who's going to the Academy?
Yes, and Academy scrims to help the main team practice and just basically help get the engine running.
Sven, Malice, Copy, Isles. Oh yeah, Winsome. I remember, yeah, Winsome.
For the people who
I feel like going into 2022, there's a lot of expectations on this. A lot of people want to see me fail. They want to see the idea, the ideology from everything that I've talked about on co-streams, on Twitter, everywhere fail. And so I know that there's going to be a lot of eyes on Cloud9. I know there's going to be a lot of pressure on that.
Yep.
But I think that if we don't win spring, if we don't win summer, if we don't do well at Worlds, I mean, it's a failure.
Wow, massive respect to LS. This was really a wholesome video. Really wholesome video. He's very aware of the risk he's taking. He's very aware of everything around him. The only thing I am disagreeing on a little bit about the philosophy is this.
To help the main team practice, internal practice. So the Academy team is being stacked with also really high-level players, and then even other coaches and other staff members that are being brought in are also Challenger Korean-level players that are also going to participate in both LCS and Academy.
So basically what he's saying is they're going to make a really stacked Academy team to scrim the main team to make sure that they can make their main team as strong as possible. See, now this is either a 10-man roster or it's an Academy team that's just really strong to play against your main team. Either one is fine. The problem is those ideas have been in place for the last 2 years, and every single one of them is basically failed or crumbled in a way. So to give you an example, I joined the LEC in 2019, right? And that was when the LEC came to be, 2019. And the LEC teams were told you need an Academy team. So they got an Academy team, and the whole thing was great. Academy teams were strong, main teams were strong, and every LEC team thought it would be a good idea to scrim their Academy team. Now, the problem with scrimming your academy team is you have the main team has everything to lose, and the academy team has everything to gain. So already from the get-go, motivation differences are very, very high. Second thing is, on top of the pressure of losing your role to an academy player, makes you tell your coaches, or the players tend to tell the coaches, I think this is a waste of practice because I won't learn anything from this guy. I want to scrim against Caps. I want to scrim against Perks, you know. I want to scrim against better players, not worse players, because all I'm doing is teaching the academy player to get better, to take my spot. What's the point of me scrimming him, right? So there was a lot of tension between players in academy and in the main teams. Now, this wasn't just from my team. My team had it a little bit. We stopped scrimming them after spring split 2019. Meteor said the same. Yeah. We stopped scrimming our academy team after 2019 spring. And I spoke to a lot of other players, and they said the exact same thing from all teams. Every single team, even top teams in LEC, no one was scrimming their academy after a half a split. Or even they never scrimmed them in the first place because these tensions arise. That's the only issue I have with scrimming academy and 10-man rosters. There's a lot of tension and bad blood built up. On the outside, it sounds great. On the outside, it's like, oh yeah, scrim academy, everyone gets better, everyone's happy, everyone's going to improve. Wow. In actual practice, after weeks of doing this, it's very, very hard. Egos start to clash. People start to question whether it's worth it. It's not good practice. It's not great. And then you have the academy guys like, what? We're beating them in scrims. Why aren't you putting me in? Tension, you know, there's a lot of pressure on the coaching staff. A lot of egos flowing around, right? And you can say drop the ego, but these players are here to win. If I'm on an academy team and I'm a mid laner and I'm dunking on this guy in lane phase, and I'm saying to my coach, why aren't I playing then? And then the guy who's actually on the other side of me, who's getting dunked on, who's the main player, is saying, yeah, but I can't focus. It's a waste of practice. This guy's bad, and it's just a waste of my time. I have everything to lose and nothing to gain with these scrims. So now you have all these fucking ideas floating around. It gets a bit messy. That's my point, basically. If he can change that philosophy, sure, go ahead. I'm on the opinion that he will do well. I think the teams will do well. I think the main team will do well. But I think that this idea of scrimming academy will probably fade away after a split, minimum. Yeah, that's just my philosophy. Because in practice, it just doesn't work. When you have 10 players butting heads with ego, with 5 with everything to gain and 5 with everything to lose, it really does not end well. Yeah, that's just from my experiences and from my understanding of other teams in the LEC specifically. Maybe if they have a different mentality, it'll work out. I don't know if it works out in the Eastern teams. Personally, I only know that Eastern teams have 1 or 2 subs for roles that they bring in every now and then, which is fine. Like 6-7-man roster is okay, especially if they're like bouncing off each other and one is not as good as the other or like better. It's just different styles for the team. Yeah, that's just basically the LEC over the last 2 years. Now in 2021, I believe no one scrims their academy team anymore. It's like a waste of time.